Hello, I'm Ayden,
And I'm Elodie.
and welcome to the introductory episode of the Hobby Hearth Podcast, where we discuss all things nerdcore and hobby related, from tabletop and video games to film and TV and everything in between.
This is a brand new podcast that is part of a wider project for hobbyists and nerds like us. So without further ado, let's jump into today's episode.
So, on today's topics for this introductory episode, we're going to just discuss who we are, what is the Hobby Hearth, what is this podcast going to be about, and expectations, laying the groundwork for the boundaries of what you can expect from us and what we expect from you, our audience. So, diving into our first topic, who are we? As I said in the beginning, I am Ayden.
And I'm Elodie.
We are brother and sister who both live in rural Northumberland in the UK. Very hilly and foggy up here, and very wet as recording of this episode. Ellie, why don't you give us a bit of background of your kind of life and work experience, and who are you?
Who am I?
Who are you?
Who are you?
I am. I have a law degree and a master's degree, but I have been working in hospitality for about 10 years, and I've recently transitioned to my first admin job, which is a lot more relaxing than hospitality these days. I live at home with my parents, but I have a cat who is my child, equally as much as your child is yours, okay?
You're probably seeing a lot of pictures of the fur baby popping up on screen as of right now. What did you study at university? You studied in Essex in Colchester, where we're originally from, Colchester in the south of England. We moved up about 6 years ago, just before COVID-19 hit.
So I went to the University of Essex. I did a law degree, undergrad, and then for my master's I did a human rights degree. And then I finished that remotely during COVID. I moved up here. I had the option of staying in uni digs or coming and living with mum and dad in a nice quiet village. Can you guess which I choose? I chose the fun one.
Yeah.
Or the peaceful one.
The peaceful one.
Okay, yeah. So Ayden, tell us about yourself.
As we said, I moved up here with my mum and dad in 2019, again, just before COVID hit. My wife, or my then fiance, who lived in America, she moved over here, like, just as COVID was coming to an end. We've recently celebrated our 5th year of marriage, and also we have a little girl who's 3 years old. My background is in catering. I did studied 3 years at catering college, and I've been in the industry for 12, 13 years now. And I also did recently my undergrad in politics and international relations, though that kind of ran dry a bit, so I'm currently just juggling the ball of being a bit of a stay-at-home dad, doing hobby commissions and content, as well as doing a little bit of catering on the side. So it's kind of me. So Ellie, what kind of hobby and nerdy things are you into?
I'm mainly into fantasy world building and writing and even tabletop games. So I am a game master. I play Dungeons and Dragons, which you're very well aware of. You're one of my players.
Mm-hmm.
I have a whole homebrew setting. As well as that, I'm generally a crafty person, so I do a lot of journaling. I can't draw, which I'm sad about. Very sad. But I make attempts, and
Hey, you build our battle maps.
I build battle maps. But there is software for that.
Yeah, yeah, you're very good on the software side of
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. And I also do a lot of digital graphic design as well. Although I would not say I'm an expert in that at all.
No.
But it was a hobby of mine back when I was like 16 that I've recently got back into.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, you know that more than anyone, getting back into old hobbies.
Well, yeah, I mean, we'll discuss it in a second about kind of like what your D&D world is like. But just to kind of jump on that point, yeah. So, back in 2000, when I was like 7, I got into Warhammer for the first time, mainly the Lord of the Rings side of that, because we both love Lord of the Rings and Tolkien. That's a big foundation of our kind of hobby career, as it were. And back in the early 2000s, Games Workshop released a set of magazines which had little Lord of the Rings miniatures in them. And you're probably going to see on screen right now, like my first miniature. So I wasn't very good back then, as you can see. But I stuck with that hobby for about 10 years or so, and then I kind of fell out of it. And then, like a lot of people did around COVID time, I kind of fell back into the hobby, and I've been doing it for like hardcore now for probably 4 or 5 years now. Really kind of growing in my painting and falling back in love with Warhammer, not just Lord of the Rings, but Age of Sigmar, Warhammer 40k. D&D miniatures is one that I paint quite a lot of, as well as just display pieces. I've done a couple of dioramas now, so painting is really my jam. I love doing a lot of painting. I don't get to play much, but that's hoping to change soon. But one of the things I do play is, as Ellie said, is D&D, where it's myself, my wife, and a couple of friends of ours who play an amazing world in an amazing world that Elodie has built here. So tell us a little bit about your D&D world.
Okay. Well, I think it's really important. You mentioned there about how you got back into painting around 2020. I liked D&D and Dungeons and Dragons way before like 2020 or anything like that. But I was very much in the midst of my degree at that point, and I think I did a lot of writing when I was a kid, and then when I went and I started, doing my degrees and everything, I spent so much time writing academic papers and reading academic stuff and 90-page cases that I kind of stopped enjoying writing and reading for pleasure. So actually, you mentioned about 2020. When that came back around, when 2020 came around and we were all stuck, it was a time where we all kind of got back into our hobbies.
Yeah.
And that was the year that I started writing my D&D homebrew campaign. So the campaign is
just to kind of put a pin in that before you jump, like before you dive into that. So your kind of we were aware of D&D for like as growing up and things like that, and kind of aware of the game, but we never actually got into it.
No.
But the thing that kind of, and for a lot of people I can imagine, that kind of really deep dove us into the world of D&D was Critical Role.
Yeah.
And it's quite funny, like funny little story of how you started watching it, midway through campaign 2?
Yeah, midway through campaign 2.
And you started watching it independently of yourself while you were still at uni.
Yeah.
And back then, I was still playing Overwatch. And as some of you might know, the head of, or the main DM of D&D, of Critical Role, Matthew Mercer, he's also a voice actor who voice acted I think he's called Cassidy now, but he was then known as McCree on Overwatch. And you were showing me a clip of Critical Role, and I was like, "Hang on, that's Matthew Mercer." Like, and that's how we kind of both
Yeah.
kind of
Started talking about it. I
Yeah.
started telling you more about it. So you started watching it, and you were like, "Oh, this looks interesting," and everything.
Mhm.
And then yeah, like when we had absolutely nothing to do, we were like, "Should we play a game?
Yeah.
Should we try this out?"
Uh-huh.
And yeah, that's what we did. We played Dungeons and Dragons for the very first time during 2020 lockdown.
Mhm.
Um,
And then you started your kind of
yeah,
deep dive campaign.
Yeah.
Just we'll probably discuss this more in a future episode, but just briefly, like, tell us what is your world? What is your like without giving away spoilers, but like, what is your world?
So the world is called Avanel. It is this world where magic ceased to exist about 1,000 years ago as a result of a war between gods. And then 40 years ago, magic suddenly returned. And this all coincides with the stars have started falling from the heavens again, which is kind of a sign that maybe another war is brewing between the gods. And yeah, you guys are called the party, or your party is called the Starlight Wanderers. And at the moment, you guys are just going from part of the world to part of the world, basically finding fallen stars, and hijinks ensue.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll as I said, we'll probably discuss this more in a future episode because it's a very deep dive topic.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we've finished a couple of arcs on that, haven't we?
Yeah.
And
We're into the third arc now.
yeah.
Which you guys have just started. So each arc is about 5-10 sessions long, depending on how long it takes you guys to get through them. But they are self-contained, like episodic stories.
Yeah.
It's very sandbox world. You guys can go where you want, do what you want, and there's things happening in the background that you guys kind of discover as you go along, which is quite fun.
Just to discuss like some other kind of, we'll put a pin in that for now, and we'll discuss some of the other kind of hobby stuff that we're interested in. So I'm a big video gamer. I love games like Skyrim, Dark Souls, or any of the From Software games is really my jam right now. I love a lot of single player story led games. That's not to say that I haven't played like some multiplayer games before, but as I've grown up and grown a bit more senile, I've found I enjoy more story based games.
Unless you want to play with others.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'd easily say like Skyrim is probably my all-time favorite game. And yeah, we both love Ellie and I are very, or Elodie and I are very of one mind when it comes to our interests in like film and TV. So we both like, as we've said, Lord of the Rings. We're huge Marvel fans.
Yeah.
We both like things like Stranger Things, Critical Role, as we've said before. And you like your own games as well.
Yeah. I would say that I'm more of a cozy gamer. High stakes games upset me. And I say this as someone who plays Stardew Valley. That can be a high stakes game, okay? But I do love a cozy game primarily. I just got Animal Crossing after years of not having it, and I'm doing my first playthrough. And I'm really enjoying that. But yeah, I'm more of a cozy gamer. A lot more like Sims and cozy farming simulations and that sort of thing.
I'm surprised you've never gotten into Minecraft.
Yeah. Just yeah. Yeah, no, probably one of the ones that I would get into. I think video games are more something I've started getting into as I've gotten older. And I'm going to put the blame solely on you there. Okay.
Yeah.
Growing up, we had a PlayStation and we were allowed an hour each on the PlayStation, right? And you were obsessed with the PlayStation.
Hmm.
And so I would start my game
Yeah.
and you would just come in and be like, oh, I'm going to take it. I'm going to help you, Ellie. I'm going to help you.
Your hour translated to 15 minutes.
Yeah, I had
mine
15
translated to an
minutes.
hour and 45.
Yeah, absolutely. Thing is, I didn't mind because I kind of enjoyed watching the game and the story more than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
I think some of my favorite games were the Jack and Daxter series, and then there was also the 2001 Hobbit video game. I loved that game.
Mm-hmm.
I think those are the only games that I can genuinely hand on heart say that I finished for myself. Otherwise, you kind of always were like, I'm gonna play. That being said, we did do some like multiplayer games together.
Mm-hmm. Played a couple of the Dynasty Warrior games together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, I just kind of followed you around.
Yeah. And there were many nights where you would watch me play Assassin's Creed.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we would have fun,
Yeah.
just nattering on about that.
Yeah,
so.
we'd just chat whilst you were playing, and we'd talk about, some of those themes within the games, which is, I don't know, oddly enough, I think it's where this idea for, oh, do you think we should do this on camera?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So maybe in future you'll see us kind of live streaming some games together,
Mm-hmm.
or kind of, and
I'm dying to play Baldur's Gate.
yeah,
Dying to play it.
Which I play with my wife. That's another game that really enjoying right now. And we'll probably go, as in future episodes of this, we'll kind of discuss more about individual games or topics or whatever. And part of this project as a whole, which we'll get into in just a second, is us wanting to try new things as well, and new kind of systems or games or hobbies, or watch more shows or whatever. It's
go out of our comfort zone.
Exactly. We are very diverse in our love for nerdy things. It's not just fantasy that we love. We're both
sci-fi.
Yeah, exactly. Doctor Who, Star Wars being the classic ones. Trying to think what else sci-fi related.
I tell you what I've just found. Do you remember this show? It was big like mid 2000s. Primeval.
Yes.
The dinosaur show.
Yeah, Primeval.
I've just started rewatching that. I go, that's a classic. That's fantastic.
Yeah, so cheesy as well, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I think you've kind of gotten a bit of a taste of who we are and our interests. So we'll move on to our next topic, which is, what is the Hobby Hearth? So let's discuss, what is the Hobby Hearth? Who's it for? What's the vision of this project that we are building? And I think a good port of call to start with is our initial conversation.
So the initial conversation kind of emerged as you were finishing off your degree. And you were feeling a little bit like I was feeling when I finished my degree, actually. A little bit disenfranchised, a little bit like, what's the point kind of sort of situation.
Yeah. Opportunities just dried up.
Yeah. This whole idea that all you need for a good job is a degree and 20 years of experience, and, the list goes on and on and on.
University's a lie, kids.
Don't tell them that. But it's not for everyone. Saying that, I don't regret my time at university. It's taught me some really good skills.
Yeah.
I think you feel the same. The skills you got out of university were really important.
Just the learning. I love learning.
Yeah.
So, that was a treat of its own.
But I think the reality is that sometimes you get to the end of your degree and it's kind of anticlimactic. It's kind of like, well, what happens now?
Mhm.
You know, expectation is through the roof, but opportunities are few. You know, we live in this world where it's like you've got to grind to be successful.
Mhm.
And I think we were both in this place of, you know, what does success actually mean? And I think we both kind of went into that conversation, both aware that actually success is happiness.
Mhm.
And when we went into that conversation, it was very much a case of, you know, what do we actually want from life? And so we sat down and we talked about what we wanted, and what made us happy. And we talked about all these things that we hadn't quite realized we had in common.
Mhm.
So, how much we found so much sense of purpose and fulfillment in our hobbies,
Yeah.
and in the things that we were doing.
Mhm.
And we just started kind of brainstorming this idea of like, well, if we're feeling this way, you know, you can guarantee other people will probably feel this way.
Yeah.
You know, other people will, you know, find that hobbies are really a place of safety, of comfort, of joy. And, you know, I think we started saying, well, we really want to create this place where we can bring a community together about this, about hobbies,
Yeah.
and about this thing that we love, which is effectively like nerdy, cozy, you know, a slow lifestyle, like the lifestyle of hobbits. No,
Yeah.
but seriously, like
Yeah.
it's this idea that, you know, if more people valued a good garden
Mhm.
over gold in mountains,
Yeah.
or whatever it is that Thorin said,
Mhm. Yeah.
you know, the world would be a happier place. And I think that's what the Hobby Hearth was born out of.
Yeah, exactly. And just to kind of like jump in on that, I think it kind of started that like obviously you'd grown with your kind of love of D&D and building your world and diving into all of the aspects of that, and then on my side, me jumping in and diving deeper into Warhammer and miniature painting, building my following on Instagram, and getting in touch with people who are also in tune with the community. And like I was already kind of thinking, oh, I want to kind of start writing scripts and like making content for online stuff. And then when I kind of told you that, you were like, "Oh, I like that. Like, I'm into that too.
Yeah.
Like, let's like, because you're wanting to. One of your long-term goals is to start publishing
Yeah.
Avenel online.
Yeah.
So as a module. So like us, kind of, it was very much a marrying of our kind of passions and ideas.
Yeah.
And after that kind of discussion, like that kind of the hobby hearth idea kind of grew from there.
Yeah. So what is the Hobby Hearth?
I think at its very core, it's a place for hobbyists. It's a place for us to not only share our love and passion for hobby and nerdcore related stuff, but it's also a place where like it's a sanctuary for other people to come and share their love for hobby and nerdcore related stuff. And it's not just restricted to any one thing. This is a place for all things hobby and nerdcore related.
Yeah.
I know nerd is or geek is often attributed as a kind of negative words, but I think over the years, people who are into things that are considered nerdy or geeky have very much grabbed hold of those phrases and owned them. Like, I am proud to be a nerd or a geek.
Yeah. I saw something recently that like your 30s, not that I'm 30,
Yet you'll get there. We all do.
but your 30s is effectively like you become who you were at 14, but you like yourself more. And I liked that. I was like, yeah, no, that makes sense. Like all the things that I liked when I was 14, I have gradually got back into. And I've kind of like embraced it a little bit more. It's like not so much hidden away, like it's a geeky, nerdy thing. I mean, it is a geeky, nerdy thing, but it's kind of like, and I like it.
And you realize, oh, other people like
Other
it too.
people are nerdy and geeky too, and I think, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we recently went and saw the 25th anniversary of the anniversary of the Lord of the Rings, and we went to see the extended trilogy back to back in a cinema, and just seeing so many people
Yeah.
who are like us there was
Yeah.
really kind of like, oh wow,
Yeah.
like Tolkien is huge and like lots of people love it, but then you're like, when you
Wow.
actually are physically there and you
Yeah.
see it, it's different.
Yeah. Those people who stayed from 10 a.m. to like 11 p.m. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were committed.
Exactly.
We were committed.
And this whole idea of the Hobby Hearth Project, we've kind of got like a plan and a vision for. And last year we did what we call phase 1.
Yeah.
What's the Nick Fury line?
There was an idea.
Yeah. So, and last year was very much a case of us finding out what is the Hobby Hearth, who is it for, what is the groundwork and foundation that we want to build on this project.
Yeah.
This year is going to be very much focused around content creation.
Yeah.
But discussing kind of like, we basically set out our tenets for what the Hobby Hearth stands for.
Yeah.
And we've got how many have we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tenets here.
5.
And I don't know if you want to take this in turns to do, but the first one here is inclusive by design. We want the Hobby Hearth to be a place for everyone. And a safe space for everyone, particularly, especially minorities, and those who are in such like the LGBTQ plus community, as well as neurodivergence. I've recently been diagnosed with ADHD, so and you're dyslexic, so we are part of the neurodivergent community, as it were.
Yeah.
So the Hobby Hearth is a safe space for everyone to explore their passions and love for the hobby and nerdy things.
Yeah. I think when we were talking about what the Hobby Hearth was, it was very much that hobbies are like such a safe space. So anything that was the physical manifestation of that had to have that element of it's a safe space for everyone. Yeah.
Absolutely. Which then leads us into our second tenet. Do you want to take away?
Yeah, essentially leading with compassion, like empathy and respect. Part of that is that we want to hold each other with care and remain open to growth and learning and feedback. Again, part of our conversation when the Hobby Hearth was kind of just in the imaginings was that it is a place where people get it wrong. People go into hobbies and think, hey, I know everything there is to know about this. And they it can turn into quite a toxic environment. Yeah. I'm looking at you, Star Wars fandom.
No, hold on. Let's not victimize people.
But the point is, people can just end up going like, hey, yeah, no, I know it all, and what your take on this is totally wrong. Yeah. And actually, I think we want to explore multiple takes on things. We want to explore different ways of doing things.
Within the bounds of respecting one another.
Yeah, within the bounds of respecting one another.
Just to kind of clarify, it's not just the Star Wars community that can get every community has their toxic elements, and we kind of want to keep that out of the Hobby Hearth.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is a place where we can all explore different sides. We were raised with looking at both sides of an argument, and that's what we want for the Hobby Hearth, is to explore both sides or all sides of a debate or a a viewpoint of how a hobby or a particular theme is looked on.
Yeah.
Um,
That very
So-
much brings us into the third one.
yeah,
Yeah.
these are kind of all kind of like
They're very
one after the
tiered,
other.
you know. They
So
build on each other.
our third one is to cultivate community, our third pillar. And this is kind of building bridges between people and ideas, but we also wish to kind of collaborate and build up other hobbyists or nerds
Yeah.
in the community. That might just be giving spotlights on particular individuals or highlighting a particular system that we like or whatever. And it's kind of like it's a hospitable home for all hobbyists to gather around. Like this it's the hearth like that you kind of gather around.
Yeah.
And our community is one that will build up each other up and look after one another and respect one another, and that's kind of like, but also have fun. Like we want
Yeah.
to, like our community is we want our community to be a very fun one.
Yeah.
In the bounds of the hobby and nerdy related things.
Yeah. And like that brings us on to like our fourth value, essentially, which is play with purpose. You know, we want to have fun, we want to enjoy things. Our hobbies make us who we are. So, you know, we enjoy meaningful play, games and hobbies that foster learning and self-discovery and joyful connection. We're looking for that idea that, you know, a hobby is more than just something that you do. It's something that gives you a sense of purpose and joy.
The world is very lonely, can be a very lonely place, and being able to kind of connect with other people who share similar interests with you, even if you just share one thing in common, that is enough to kind of get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
One of my very good friends, Josh, he uploads music for Call of Duty Zombies on YouTube, and it's just because I love the music and he loves the music that we found that common ground. And then after kind of numerous conversations and like playing games together as well, he and I kind of have a very, very good friendship. He's probably my best friend, to be honest now. And have a lot of other things in common as well. So that's kind of like another reason why we want to kind of play with purpose, as it were. And our last one is kind of creative our last pillar is creative exploration, and it's imagination is our shared language.
Yeah.
And we're here to uplift, encourage, and celebrate creative innovation and growth. And like a hobby by its very nature is creativity. Like, yeah, D&D has its own set of rules. Warhammer has has the box art of how you can paint it, but the only restriction you have you have is your own imagination. You can create your own homebrew. You can paint your own scheme. Like, and that's kind of like another thing we want to encourage within the Hobby Hearth.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that we plan to be doing is to be exploring out of our comfort zone, like we mentioned before, is to kind of go further than even we thought we were capable of going.
Yeah.
In exploring different hobbies and different creative pursuits.
I've never tried crochet, so I might be doing some knitting at some point. And so those are our kind of five pillars. So just to kind of go over them: inclusive by design, leading with compassion, cultivating community, plays with purpose, and creative exploration.
You can see how they're all kind of vaguely interconnected and like they kind of overlap in places, but I think they kind of very much do make the foundation of what we're looking for and what we're hoping to do.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess that kind of, I know this might seem a bit random, but like we were also kind of thinking about kind of our avenues of how we are going to explore content creation ourselves. So as you're probably watching this, one of them is obviously on YouTube.
Yep.
And we'll get into a second of what we might be posting, and well, actually I'll say it here. So like our content streams are going to be YouTube. I'm already posting on Instagram, on my own personal kind of
Yep.
Instagram, but we'll have a Hobby Hearth one as well.
Yep. You'll see all the links to all the profiles or everything at the bottom of this video.
Yeah, or in the description.
Yeah.
So Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, and others at a later date. So we're going to have quite a wide net of where we're going to be posting on the Hobby Hearth. And we were just like last year, we were also discussing what kind of content do we want to make.
Yeah.
And we're already starting with this podcast. That's one of our content streams.
That's one of our primary ones that we thought would be like a great way to launch us into it.
Yeah, exactly. We'll be doing video essays. We'll be doing play-alongs, painting tutorials, blind reacts to things, as well as anything in between that basically we think, oh, that seems fun.
Yeah, I mean, give us your suggestions in the comments about what you'd like to see us do as well. Like, absolutely, we'd be so open to that sort of feedback from you guys.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of goes with the tenet of like cultivating community. Like we may be at the head and leading this community, but we are very much being driven by you, our viewers, like, and those who are you're our community. We are community driven, and if there's something you want us to discuss or a topic you want us to cover, a
hobby you want us to try,
a video game that you want us to play through, a board game you want us to to try out and review, like, we are open to anything and everything.
Absolutely.
And we might look at it and say, actually, this isn't for us.
Yeah.
But that's not, that's not kind of dampening on other people's enjoyment of it.
No.
But we would definitely highlight it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think just kind of bringing it back to this podcast, we'll kind of dive into our next topic about what is this podcast going to be about?
Yeah.
So, our next topic is we're going to discuss what our content pillars are. We've got, as part of our discussion last year,
our original brainstorming, we talked a lot about what are the areas that we're interested in. And I think we kind of came to like 4 particular areas that we kind of call our pillars. So those are tabletop games, which involves basically any game that you can play on a tabletop. So we are talking Dungeons and Dragons, we are talking Pathfinder, we are talking Daggerheart, Warhammer, card games, board games, anything that you can really play on a tabletop, we would be interested in like talking about, playing. I think that's one of our primary things that we do together as hobbyists. So I think that was like
Monopoly.
No, we're not allowed to play that anymore.
Oh.
Mom said. No. If you guys don't tell, we won't tell.
Basically, if it's done on the surface of a tabletop, we'd love to kind of discuss it and like play it or just highlight it.
Yeah.
Our next one is creative crafts and curation. That's the word. This involves anything that involves like our imagination, creativity, things to do with your hands, and it ranges from things like painting, knitting, Lego, like collecting and building Lego, like collecting cards, not necessarily like
Playing the games,
playing
but
the game,
collecting
but
them,
just the
yeah.
collection side of it. So basically, just
Mm-hmm.
the imagination side
Yeah.
of this world building as
Yeah,
well.
this also involves world building, writing, those sorts of aspects that come into play with D&D and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of overlap between some of these.
Yeah. The third one is media, and that is movies, TV, and music, and books
And
as
books.
well.
Yeah.
You know, can't forget books.
Yeah.
But when we talk about music, not necessarily just popular artists, although I'm sure they might come onto the kind of agenda of discussion, but definitely like soundtracks.
You're talking about like the works of like Howard Shore or
Yeah.
John Williams or Jeremy Soule,
Hans Zimmer.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, talking about like film and TV, that's pretty self-explanatory. Like we said, we're Marvel fans or
Lord
Doctor
of the
Who,
Rings fans.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Yep. If it's something that you as a viewer or we as viewers consume, that's the kind of sphere that we're working in.
Yeah.
That also includes things like social media, and so like YouTube content creators that we might want to highlight or talk about, like Critical Role, for instance,
or even some small content creators like ourselves who would want to like hype up, because there are lots of fantastic creators online.
I know they're not small, but like the likes of Quincy's Tavern on TikTok come to mind. So the media sphere is that's kind of, it encompasses pretty much anything that we as consumers consume. The last one, this is going to be pretty self-explanatory. Our fourth pillar is video games. If you play it on a screen, that's what we want to kind of aim at.
Whether that's cozy games like me or like intense games that make you want to cry like Ayden.
I don't cry.
I've seen you play Elder Scrolls.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want to play, if there are video games from a range of platforms as well, we are talking PC, Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox, even mobile. You know, we don't have access to all the consoles in the world. We do have consoles between us. So obviously some of that conversation might not be based on experience, although that's something we want to build to. But we are up for basically discussing anything really in the video game circle, because it's such a topic that brings so many people together.
Yeah, and it might not necessarily involve the video games themselves, but it could also include things like the creation of video games, the developer stories, or what is going on in the video game sphere. We're talking about things like the Game Awards when that comes around, and as well as like things like the history of video games. Like we'll be talking probably about things like from Pong all the way up to God of War and beyond, like, and everything in between. So it's a vast sphere that we have we get to play with, basically. And I think the idea for this podcast is that around these four pillars, whenever we upload going forward, we're going to be talking about one of these four pillars as the main central theme. As I said, there'll be overlap, but like you'll have a video game theme on one episode, which might focus around the Elder Scrolls. Then the next one will be a media one, for instance, which will talk about who the character Tom Bombadil was, and so on and so forth. That might jump around a bit as well, depending on what, like I said, if, for example, the Game Awards are coming up, we might push forward a video game themed one because that's topical at the time. So, but you can generally assume that whatever our uploads are or our episodes are, it's going to be one of those four pillars.
We're going to probably have a rotating type of schedule with a lot of flexibility into it. As you said, if stuff come up or there's a topic that we take to one another and say, I really want to talk about this, it doesn't fall in the usual schedule, but can we talk about it next episode? we're definitely going to be kind of doing that. But you can kind of expect, if you want to know what is going to happen, those 4 pillars really do kind of give an idea of the type of content that we're going to be cycling through and talking about.
Yeah, that's a better way, or that's a more concise way of what I was saying.
I do that.
I don't think there's really much else left to talk about on this section, so we're going to go on to our final section for this introductory episode, and it's the one that we kind of have to do. It's a bit of the boring kind of housekeeping stuff of boundaries. Onto our final topic, and it's the kind of boring one that we have to kind of do just to kind of set the bar of what you expect from us and what we expect from you going forward, boundaries and such. We already discussed in large what a lot of our expectations are of ourselves and of you within our tenets, our values.
Which comes down to be kind, be inclusive, and be playful.
Yeah, and have fun. I think that's pretty much our bottom line there. Is like, and if you want to refresh, go back and have a watch of that section. That's pretty much a lot of the bottom line, really. I think it goes without saying, though, within a politically fraught world, should probably clarify a bit on our political stance within this podcast. And just say this is not going to be a political podcast. We have our own political views, but
and we think our values do reflect those views. But we're not here to talk about the politics of the world.
No.
Hobbies are a place where people can escape to, and also find a place to like really come in and find comfort in a politically fraught world.
Yeah, absolutely. And while, as I said, while this is not a political podcast, we do recognize that political themes exist within some of the hobbies that we consume, like video games and books and TV. You cannot read something like The Hunger Games and not take political themes from that. You can't talk about the Empire of Nilfgaard from The Witcher without recognizing where some political themes and theories are within that. And so if we do discuss political themes, it is within the scope of the narrative or the theme that we're discussing, like the game or the film or whatever. It's not our own personal views. It'll be what we are kind of garnering from or taken away from the hobby or the nerdy media, if that makes sense. And just to reiterate, we'll stand by our values and tenets. So when it does concern real world events, but there won't be any kind of political Bible bashing.
No,
at least not that I
mean, see. The bottom line is our political views are very much human beings are human beings.
Absolutely. And we would kindly ask you that you kind of reflect that as well and restrain yourselves, just to keep it within the scope of, or keep your own political views within the scope of the discussion, basically, or the scope of the theme of the video or whatever. The other thing you can expect from us, I guess, the old maturity rating. We want to kind of keep this PG-13 as much as we can, or at least the podcast as PG-13 as we can. You're not going to see any excessive swearing from us. I mean, you never know in the heat of the moment, like the occasional like PG-13 F-bomb might drop, but this we want to make this as family friendly as possible. That's not to say, though, that some of the discussions we might be having, particularly some of the more mature, like, again, I'm using video games and films and TV shows here, but within whatever scope it is, like you cannot talk about certain aspects of the Warhammer 40k universe without discussing or without acknowledging that it is called the grim dark of the far future.
Yeah.
Um,
I think there's an element here that we're both adults, older
Mhm.
adults, and a lot of the hobby content that we consume is generally targeted to more mature audiences.
Mhm.
So that's obviously what our experiences lie in.
Yeah.
And that's what we probably want to talk about.
Yeah.
However,
we're happy to we want to dive into
Yeah.
the cozy cottage
Yeah.
core games like Animal Crossing or
Mhm.
Stardew Valley, but also we want to talk about the darker themes of the likes of The Witcher or
Mhm.
Dark Souls,
Yeah.
and discuss the more mature themes of them. And so I think a compromise of that is that at the top of each episode, if it's going to discuss mature themes, we're going to have a little trigger warning, basically.
Yeah.
And I think that's the fairest way to kind of
Yeah.
go about that.
Yeah. And if you do watch this, or you choose to carry on watching this, and you're watching this with a younger person, we do advise parental discretion as well. If you don't think a particular episode is worth sharing with that young person, don't share it.
Yeah, exactly. And lastly, I think the only thing to discuss about what you can expect from us is our upload schedule. So we're aiming to upload at the moment on the last Saturday of every month.
Mhm.
So you're going to see monthly uploads from us
For the podcast.
For the podcast, yeah. So there'll be stuff in between then, especially on social media as well.
Mhm.
But for this podcast, we're looking at monthly uploads. As and when we get into the flow of it, we'll probably knock that down to maybe fortnightly or
Mhm.
every 2 weeks. And then ideally, we want to make this a weekly podcast, but
Yes.
that will depend on how
Yeah.
this goes.
Yeah. I mean, full transparency. You have experience with podcasts. You have a podcast with your friend Josh called Undead Ramblings.
Ramblings. Yeah.
You know.
I know. Yeah.
La la la.
Yeah, I'm on the Undead Ramblings podcast. But you've not done.
I've not done anything like this in years. So to some degree, there's going to be a learning curve for us. We're having to relearn old skills, or pick up new skills. So we want to give ourselves that flexibility and that breathing room to pick up those skills. And as we get better at them, that's when we want to start expanding things.
Yeah.
And also just appreciating that we have lives that we need to fit this into.
Yeah, and as and when, as the project kind of evolves and grows, and our vision grows, if in the far future or hopefully near future we get in a position where we might be able to hire editors, that will make the process go a lot smoother as well. So,
Do you mean you're not going to pay me for editing this?
I pay you in painted minis.
Fair enough.
But yeah, so just for the time being, we're looking at monthly uploads on the last Saturday of every month.
Yeah, on YouTube.
Yes,
Yeah.
on YouTube. And it might go on to Spotify and Apple Music
And
as and when we can figure that out.
Yeah.
But for the time being, monthly on last Saturday of every month on YouTube.
so hit that bell
Mhm.
and like and subscribe if you want to, keep up to date with what we're doing.
Yes, yep, absolutely. Lastly, for this section, let's talk about our expectations from you. And I think we've outlined most of that already. Be kind, be inclusive. This is a space for everyone. Basically, in short, don't be a dick.
We did just say something about language, right?
Yeah, but I feel like
that's an appropriate use.
it's pertinent.
Appropriate use.
Alongside that, we want you to have fun. This is a
Yeah.
podcast, and the wider project, if you do decide to tap into that as well, this is this whole project is about having fun and being
Mhm.
creative and enjoying your hobby spaces and the nerdy things. So have fun with it, have a blast.
Yeah.
Like just like that's the only thing I can really say about that.
Yeah, and we want to hear from you.
Mhm.
Let us know what you want to talk about. Let us know if there's things that we've, talked about and you've gone, oh, but I know this fun fact.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, but when we went to watch that Lord of the Rings marathon, when Viggo Morrison kicked that Urukai helmet and it flew across the room, I felt everyone in that room feel the need to say, did you know Viggo Mortensen broke his toe?
Yeah.
We love fun facts.
Uh-huh.
We love fun facts. So share in the comments, your fun facts about your hobbies, things that you want us to explore, and a little bit of feedback.
Yeah.
Things you'd like. Oh, Ayden, Elodie, we think you could do this better.
Yeah.
Be nice.
We are totally on board with taking constructive criticism and feedback. Like, if something is not working, let us know.
Yeah.
If you want us to discuss a particular theme
Mm-hmm.
or a particular video game or particular board game or whatever, let us know. Like, this is very much, like, as I said earlier, well, that might have been in a different take. This is very much like, while we're at the head, like taking the helm of this and steering this ship.
Yeah.
You guys are giving us the direction.
Our motley crew.
Yeah, you're the motley crew who tells us which direction to steer in, and that's like, we want to curate to you. There's no point in us talking about something that nobody has absolutely any interest in.
Yeah, except us, because we do that anyway.
Yes, like golf. So yeah, so please give us feedback, give us ideas of what you want to see as well.
Be part of the community.
Yeah, have fun. I think that's everything. So let's wrap up. I think that kind of wraps up our first episode of the Hobby Hearth podcast. I hope you've enjoyed it. I think we have, haven't we?
Yeah, I mean, in a strange way, it's almost like a hobby in of itself. It's a new thing that we're trying. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
And yeah, enjoyed it.
So next episode, we are going to jump on our first kind of proper episode of the podcast, and discuss our first pillar, media.
Mm-hmm.
And being as it's the 25th anniversary of the Lord of the Rings film trilogy, and we've recently gone to see that in the cinema, we're going to do a very broad discussion on our thoughts and feelings on that trilogy.
Yeah.
The timeless classics that they are now.
Yeah.
So please tune into that if that's something you want to see.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell, as we've said, to do them YouTube pleasantries. But you can also, I doubt there'll be many of them online right now, but you'll be able to find any mini vlogs as well as videos across all our various platforms between now and the next podcast.
Yeah. We will add links to all our accounts across Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky, all in the description below.
Mm-hmm.
And if Editor Ellie is any good on the screen. And you can also find me and him also through Instagram.
Yeah. Again, links will be either will be in the description below and hopefully on the screen as well. In the meantime, we hope you have a wonderful month, and we'll catch you on the next episode of the Hobby Hearth podcast. I think that's all that's left to say is goodbye. So bye.
Bye.
Yeah, we're finally doing it.
We're finally doing it.
Hey, look, Mom, I'm a podcaster.